Caeleb Dressel swam at a swim meet, and he did all right. Let's talk about it. So if you weren't already aware, this weekend at the 2023 Speedo Atlanta Classic, 7-time Olympic champion, 20-time world champion Caeleb Dressel swam at a swim meet for the first time in nearly a year since the 2022 World Championships, where he, after winning 2 gold medals at the beginning of the meet, pulled out of the meet for medical reasons, and we have had little word from Caeleb since then. He's posted on his Instagram a couple times letting fans know that he is in fact still swimming and training at the University of Florida. But this weekend, we got to see Caeleb Dressel in full racing action. This is me before the meet saying I thought Caeleb would do all right. Not great, not terrible, but pretty much in between.
No matter what events he ends up swimming, I think he'll throw down solid times, but I don't think he would go to a meet before he's ready to compete at a level that he's happy with.
I'll toot my own horn. By my standards, I'd say I hit the nail on the head. I think Caeleb had a solid meet. I think this is great for his first meet in nearly a year, and I think he's only going to get better moving forward. So, what did he go? Caeleb was 53.6 in the 100 fly prelim, followed by 52.4 in finals, pretty solid. 200 fly, he actually swam it, which was a surprise. He was 205.1. In the 50 meter free, 22.9 prelim, 22.5 in the final. And in the 100 free, he was 50.2 in prelims and then left before finals, which is a thing that he often does at a meet like this, where it's in season, it's low stakes, and you want to get home before the week starts. Now, if you're only comparing these times to Caeleb's best times, it might be easy for you to think, whoa, he still looks a little shaky. However, if we go back and look at his in-season times from this meet specifically in years past, we'll see that Caeleb actually looks pretty dang good. To me, this is a promising sign that Dressel can still have a very strong summer. So let's dive into those past meets. We're gonna take a look at an in-season meet from Caeleb Dressel for every year over the last 6 seasons. And I will also give you context on how he did later in the season, whether it was at World Championships, the Olympic Games, or the Pan-Pacific Championships. Last year, as we know, Caeleb went to World Championships, he won 2 gold medals, he was off to a very solid start to the meet, and then he pulled out. It has been hypothesized for mental health reasons, but the fact of the matter is we don't really know why. So last spring, Caeleb didn't go to the Atlanta Classic, but he did go to the Pro Swim in San Antonio, which was March 30th to April 2nd. At that meet, he was 53.0 in the 100 fly prelim, 51.7 at night, 22.4 in the morning in the 50 free, 21.8 at night, and 49.6 in the 100 free prelims, followed by a 49.1 in the final. Lucky for swim fans and history, Caeleb Dressel has attended the Atlanta Classic pretty annually over the last 5 years. So in 2021, it's pretty much the same weekend, May 13 to 16. He swam a 200 free, which he didn't this time. Finals, he goes 147.4. Pretty solid for him, right on his best. 100 fly, he's 51.9 in prelims, 51.1 in finals. So his form is looking really good. 22.4 in the 50 free prelim, 21.8 at night, pretty much on par with what we saw from the San Antonio meet in 2022. He swims the 100 back, because why not? He's really feeling himself. And then 48.00 prelims in the 100 free. Again, he leaves the meet early, doesn't swim finals, but he does time trial the 100 free to get a second swim in. He goes 48.6. So at the 2021 Atlanta Classic, Dressel was on. As we know, he goes on to the Olympic Games that were postponed from 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and he wins 5 gold medals, going 49.4 in the 100 fly, 47.0 in the 100 free, and 21.0 in the 50 free. Moving even further back to the 2020 Pro Swim in Des Moines, this was the meet right before everything shut down due to COVID-19. So a lot of swimmers were ramping up for those Olympic trials and Olympic Games that were supposed to happen in 2020, and a lot of swimmers were on their game, including the man himself, Caeleb Dressel. He pops a 48.6 in the final of the 100 free, 147.5 in the 200 free, 50.9 in the 100 fly, and 21.5 in the 50 free. Now this is what I think is pretty interesting. Caeleb can usually pop a really good 100 fly in season and a pretty decent 50 free in season. His 100 free seems to take the most work to have a good swim in season. And that either means he needs to wait until he tapers to go a really fast time, or he needs to be in really, really good shape, as we saw him right before the Olympic trials and Olympics in 2021 and right before World Championships in 2019, which we'll get to next. Obviously, there was no championship meet in 2020 because everything was shut down and the Olympics got postponed. So 2019, because there were no World Champ trials this season and he went straight to World Championships, the season shifts a little bit later. So while he didn't go to the Atlanta Classic that year, he did go to the Swim Meet of Championships in Southern California, June 20th to 24th. How did he fare there? Well, he was 47.9 twice in the 100 freestyle, prelims and finals, which is a great sign for Mr. Dressel. 148.8 in the 200 free prelim, 150.9 in the 200 free final. Not his best showing, but I don't think the 200 free is necessarily a metric of how he's doing. At this meet, there was a prelim, semi, and final for the 50 freestyle. He was 22.5, 22.1, 21.5, showing great control and mastery over that specific event. And then 51.9 prelim 100 fly and a 50.3 final 100 fly. 6 weeks later, he goes to World Championships in Gwangju and wins 6 frickin' gold medals and 2 silvers, winning 4 individual events in the 50 free, 100 free, 50 fly, and 100 fly. So to me, this is prime Dressel, where he is so locked in with his training and with his swimming that he's able to throw down monster times in season as well as at the big meets. So these final 2 years are just kind of fun to look back at because Caeleb has been at the top of our sport for so long. 2018 in the Atlanta Classic, he swims the 200 free, 155.0 prelim, 151.9 final. It's cool to see how much progress he has made in that 200 freestyle event. Now if he doesn't go 147, everyone's kind of like, okay, that's not that great. But 5 years ago, dude was going 155 in prelims. Swims the 100 breast, 106.9 prelim, 103.2 final. This is just kind of funny because we're not used to seeing him swim these events always. 50 free, 23.6 prelim, not that good. Only comes down to a 23.1 final. Swims the 100 back as well as the 200 IM prelim and final. Manages a 201.9 in that. And then 100 free, he's 51.3 in the morning for 7. And 49.6 to actually take the win in finals. I think this is a great example of just the progress we have seen Caeleb make over the course of his career, both in season and at championship meets. So in 2018, at the end of the summer, the US hosts their US Nationals / Pan Pacific Trials, and then like 4 days later has the Pan Pacific Championships. That's an exaggeration. I think it's like 10 days. Dressel struggled there. He went 48.5 in the 100 free to get 6th, which doesn't make the Pan Pac team. He gets 2nd in the 50 fly. Finally, he drops a 50.5 100 fly to make the Pan Pacific Championships team. He goes to Pan Pacs and gets a pair of silvers in the 50 and 100 free and wins the 100 fly, but the times aren't really anything that sensational. 21.9, 48.2, and 50.7. Find out at that meet that Dressel had been in a motorcycle accident in late June, which may or may not have affected his training for the rest of the summer. I find it interesting that either way, at that Atlanta Classic in May, he was coming off his monster NCAAs, where he went 17 in the 50 free and 42 in the 100 fly, and 39 in the 100 free. Just 6 weeks out from that meet, he comes to the Atlanta Classic and really doesn't have that good of a showing long course, even though he asserted himself as the guy the summer before at the 2017 World Championships. So what kind of form was he in leading into those World Championships? Well, luckily for us, he was at the Atlanta Classic in 2017, just a couple months before that meet. Swims the 200 free, goes 151.4 in finals. Again, progress. Swims the 100 fly, goes 53.9 in the final. Progress. 50 free, he wins it, but with a 22.1 in finals. Progress. Swims the 100 back, 55.8 in finals to get 9th. And the 100 free, 49.8 in the final to get 3rd. So Dressel was really not that good at this in-season Atlanta Classic before his massive 2017 World Championships, where he won the 100 free, the 100 fly, and the 50 free. He was 21.1, 47.1, and 49.8 in those events. Massive drops off of his PBs and massive drops off of his times from the Atlanta Classic. So what does this mean for Caeleb Dressel moving forward? I don't know. I'm just glad that our mans is back in the pool and hopefully back to loving what he does, racing. The swimming community was buzzing this weekend just to see him race, even if it wasn't super lightning fast, which I will say again, he had a really great first meet back. We don't know if he's racing between now and the World Championship trials in Indy at the end of June. Hopefully we'll get one more showing from Dressel just to see where he's at. But if we don't, fingers crossed that he shows up in Indy and we are blessed by his presence and get to see him swim once again. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. I put a fair amount of work into putting together this deep dive of Caeleb Dressel results, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and tell me what year you think prime Dressel was, especially accounting for his NCAA career. I think we easily forget he has had a lot of good swimming seasons, and it is not easy to sustain the level of success that our boy has. And if you want more videos like this, smash that subscribe button so you can get notified every time we put out a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.